Yeah.
All right, we got a great episode, as I said today, with interview with Diane Brisebois, but a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about. So I was interested. Let's start with Maple Leaf buying farms, pig farms,
Yeah.
and it's kind of an interesting way to backward integrate or backyard integrate, I could say. But I was kind of surprised at it. Does it say to me, or does it say to you that they're a little worried about the supply, or is it just a business decision to get back from processing and marketing backwards into the actual raising? It seemed a different stretch to me, but maybe it's just a different category and I'm overthinking it.
I think you're reading it right. I think it's more about control. And I think the one thing we've learned from the pandemic is that a lot of things can happen in processing. And I suspect that, and Maple Leaf has invested heavily in processing the last recent years. You think of Hamilton, for example, the mega plant there, the mega hog plant. They're investing in London now. They're building a
Yep.
mega plant for chicken. So they've invested quite a bit. Brandon is 20 years old already. The Maple Leaf plant. So it was an interesting move for Maple Leaf. I honestly, like you, I wasn't expecting it, but
Hmm.
once I heard about it, I wasn't overly surprised. So
Hmm.
that's how I saw it. Yeah. Did you see it the same way?
Yeah, I thought the timing was interesting, given the supply and maybe that the demand for one of the is pork demand up, down, or sideways. We know that China is still consuming a tremendous amount of the global pork as they rebuild
Yep.
their pork inventory, basically right after their porcine pandemic. So no, I thought it was interesting. Maple Leaf, we've talked about them a bunch of times on the podcast. Such a well run company. So when they do something, it always gets my attention because I know how professional they are, and I just start thinking about what they're thinking, basically.
Oh yeah,
So
no. When it comes to processing, I actually would say that Maple Leaf is a top tier company in Canada for sure. In the last 5 years, they do value processing quite a bit. Now the on the demand side, pork is still quite popular. I mean, pork is actually still selling well retail
mhm,
in Canada. It is an affordable animal protein. If people
yeah.
are spooked by beef, they'll go towards pork. And so that's why pork demand has been quite stable and has
Mm,
risen a little bit the last few years. So it's a good investment overall.
yeah.
With beef, though, things are, on the international side of things are good, but domestically, as you know, Michael, demand per capita is still dropping. It's been dropping for the last 30 years.
Is it the case of the trifecta, as you've called it, of the proteins, that it's chicken, then pork, then beef in terms of consumption in Canada? Is that fair to say in terms of just in terms of
Pretty
volume?
much, both chicken and pork have done very well in recent years. Although I'm a little
Mm.
bit concerned about chicken. You see, chicken typically would increase by 2-3% a year. This year, it's 8 since
And
January.
and for many families, it's the more economical choice of the
Oh
three,
yeah.
right? Right.
So and chicken is like the tide. If the tide rises, everything else rises at the meat counter. And
Oh,
that's a bit
interesting.
of a problem for butchers and
Mm.
people managing meat counters in Canada. If
Mm.
chicken goes up, everything else goes up. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how people react with higher prices at the meat counter over the next little while.